Time for some background images. My preference is to work with the large chunks of the page and the most backmost parts of the page, and to work my way forward and inward to get the biggest chunks of the page done first. So with that in mind, I'm going to work on the larger background images first, in particular box sides. So this background image is 755 pixels wide and 9 pixels high. And you can see 9 pixels is a very small amount, but it doesn't matter so much because these two lines are going to be repeating downward. So we just need a little tiny sliver, and then we can repeat them down. And like I did in the previous week's work, I think I'll put them on the body for now. It's a large container. If later I decide that that's too big a container, I could make a div inside the body and put it there. Well, you know, in order to do this, I'm going to need some CSS, and that means that I am going to need to put a style sheet in place here. So two things I need. I need to decide where to put it. It looks like many of our projects have a CSS folder inside the assets, so I think I'll follow that convention here. It's not WordPress's convention, but in your glorious future as a web designer, you can encounter that, and when you do. I am going to copy the normalized CSS file from last week's lab if I can locate it. Here it is. Can I find it? I'm going to say, oh, I thought I'd be able to copy it. Can I drag it? No, too bad. I'll just fetch it on disk, I guess. I can go back one folder and pull it out of the week 6. Doesn't really matter. I think I use it in both places. So on Mac, you can hold down the Option key. On Windows, I can't remember. I think I just usually copy and paste on Windows. But by some method, I'm going to copy and paste this into my current folder. And on Mac, the easiest way to do that is to hold down the Option key to make a copy while you drag and drop. I can hold over here and it opens up for me. And I'll put that inside my CSS. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to need to create a style sheet for myself inside my CSS folder. There's my normalized CSS, which has picked up. I'm going to close it, and I'm going to open up a new file in here called style.css. The reason I'm using style instead of styles is because WordPress tends to use style, and eventually you're going to encounter WordPress and get used to that naming convention. I need to make a body rule. Here it is. Let's have a sanity check moment. Save, refresh. No, see, this is my sanity check moment. Oh, if I don't see a yellow background, it must mean that this is not wired up to my CSS style sheet. So almost the first thing I will always do inside a JavaScript or a CSS file is just do a sanity check to see if I see this. If I don't see it, it means something's wrong inside the HTML file. And the thing that's wrong is that I have not linked it in the head. So we have link rel equals style sheet, and href equals assets CSS. Well, let's do the normalized first. That's a good idea. And then we'll add in our own style sheet. Okay, that should be sufficient for me to normalize all my margins and padding and to see my awesome yellow background color. Okay, if that is working, then let's put the sides on and put on the background that we really want instead of this garish yellow color. And I'm going to start with the background shortcut and go from there. Box sides.gif, repeating in the Y direction. Save, refresh, and here we are. In the next video, we'll put on the top and bottom background images and then start wrangling the interior content.